The Morgan Report with David Morgan.
David Morgan, themorganreport.com for the week ending December 3rd, 2021. Well, another interesting week. Stock market, I'll just be very general. Stock market across the board in the United States is showing some weakness. Many are suggesting that we are seeing a top and we are coming down. What we do know for a fact is a lot of the big money, smart money, has moved out of the stock market, probably into cash on the sidelines. As far as the metals markets are concerned, it's been a rough ride as well. As you can see from this crypto chart, this Kitco chart, I've got crypto on the brain. Going back to early October around the 22.50 level, made a nice move to 24.50, $2 move. Consolidated down, gave up maybe half the gain or something, and then we made this nice move up to 25, and this was in early November up to about the middle of November. Kind of hung in at that level pretty much, and then we got options expiration and down we went hard. Gold as well, and it was overbought. Commitment of traders wasn't really too bad. It was suggesting that we might be seeing a top, but again, options expiration, bang. And since then, the last, 7 trading days, it's pretty much been down. So we've done a round trip, basically from, I'll call it the middle of October to the beginning of December. 22.50 to 25.50 to 22.50. It's really discouraging. A lot of people are pretty upset with the metals price performance, but as I like to say, it's not over yet. A lot going on across the board. I've been doing a series with this. I'm on the blog page. If you just go to the main page I showed you a moment ago and click on the blog, it will bring up this page where we post almost all of the public domain interviews that I do, and my what I'll call podcast or video casts, which I've been doing much more regularly starting just a little while back. I started this crypto conspiracy series mainly with John Perez, but some with others like Cyrus A. Parsa, and back to John. And I suggest you, if you're in the crypto space, especially if you're in there heavily, you watch 2 or 3 or all of them and get a perspective on what might really be going on behind the scenes in the crypto world. We feed you a lot of information and let you make the final determination, but we do our best to take the other side of the coin, not to bash anyone or anything. Free market all the way. We'll report it, you decide, but I want some information out there that many others aren't. Are not producing, or not suggesting, or not doing anything about. I got a very interesting comment from one of my LinkedIn followers that said, David or John, you're doing a fantastic job. I'm waiting for your next episode. Keep pulling on the sweater. The whole thing is going to unravel. That's what he said. I'm just repeating back. But we actually have been getting much more favorable than unfavorable comments. So let me continue. So this is a big news item today, Friday the 3rd, as I said. The Chinese government summons Evergrande founder after warning of insufficient funds. And the question, of course, has the giant fallen? I'd say it's falling if you look at the stock price, and what's it going to do remains to be determined, but it will upset not only the real estate market in China and elsewhere, but it will be something that will rock the markets for, I think, some time to come, especially if the thesis that John and myself and others have suggested that some of the Tether commercial paper is from Evergrande. If it is, then the stability of the Tether backing the Bitcoin could be in question. When we get information like this from the Vortex cartel, the European Union fines major banks of hundreds of millions for rigging markets. How rare The UK's HSBC, NatWest, Barclays, along with Switzerland's Credit Suisse, have been fined a combination of 390 million. That's probably one day's trading in the options market for rigging foreign exchange market. This is from Reuters. HSBC was slammed with the highest penalty and eye-watering, for us, eye-watering, 197 million for the company's part in the collusion. And John and I are going to continue. In fact, I'll be interviewing him later today. And of course, we're one or two ahead of what we're posting with the Crypto Conspiracy series, which has not ended yet. Isaac Cappy, brackets and jackets. Who else is in the Epstein mix? So it's getting very, very interesting. Yes, I know the particulars. I know that the judge is pretty much pick from the Obama administration. I know Southern New York. I know all that stuff. And is it going to be a rigged or a show trial? Possibly, probably. I don't know. What I do know is even at a dog show, you still get to look at the dogs. So we'll see. I'm not saying it's going to be an up and up trial, but what I am suggesting is there might be enough information that comes out that it's almost impossible not to see some repercussions, regardless of what the final decision is, which of course could be appealed. This one appealed to me. I mean, it's obviously a dark scene, but found it interesting how creative people are and how they think outside the box. Protesters in Ukraine use mirrors to show the police what they've become. Yeah, some people have a very hard time seeing their own flaws, admitting when they're wrong. Many people, they rationalize or justify or get the victim status, which has pretty much been taught, in my opinion, where you're always a victim, it's never your fault, that type of thing. But holding up a mirror, taking a hard look at what you really have become is, I think, very, very apropos. So I thought I'd include it this week. And then I guess I'll end here. I got a few more things to show you, but this is a guy that doesn't really know how to spell Bitcoin. But he talks about the community. It's a new hero, Michael Saylor, domain name Squatter, tech billionaire playboy, whose company has a history of accounting fraud with the SEC, and just YOLO'd 400 million into his company. So I think you can read what is being said here. I'm just trying to be neutral. Look, I'm just reading this from this guy that can't really spell Bitcoin on Reddit. And showing you a picture, and one picture's worth 1,000 words. Does one picture prove anything? Absolutely not. But it also could infer, perhaps, there's a connection. And if you go through the crypto conspiracy that John and I primarily, so I would say Parsa, I'll be taking some others on board with me to get their perspectives. There could be more to this sweater unraveling that I mentioned a moment ago than currently meets the eye. Again, buyer beware. We will be publishing this weekend on the 4th of December. And I just want to bring everyone's attention that we will be increasing our membership fees January 1st, 2022. So you have the rest of the month to lock in the $50 a month price. And it could be actually 20% cheaper than that if you pay for a year. If you do so, you are guaranteed to keep that price as long as you keep your subscription intact. In fact, the previous price, I think, was $269 a year. And we have a lot of people that pay $269 a year because they've renewed over the last several years, how long that's been, until we increased our current price. If that price upsets you, you probably don't really need or can afford a financial newsletter. I mean, it's not a beginner letter. It focuses on resources, a lot to do with gold and silver, and outside the box thinking, like I just showed you in this weekly perspective. We do a lot for free, so you obviously can have that option. And then we look at some asymmetric trades as well. It's broken down how to use the Morgan report. It's all for your benefit. So again, we're going for $100 per month or $9.95 in January. If you lock in the $500 price, which is half that amount, and if you compare it to others such as Katusa Research, which is like 5 times higher than our current price, and one of the better geologists that writes a report, like $16.50 a year, and one of the penny stock specialists, does a great job. It's $1,500 a year. So we are still going to be below almost all of our competition, even when we go to this new rate. But if you want to keep it really affordable relative to the other competitors that we have, certainly you can lock in $500, and again, it will stay there, or $50 a month for as long as you wish. So that's going to wrap it up for this weekly perspective. Lots to look at. Financial markets are in disarray. Metals have been hammered. The cryptos are looking somewhat weak here, as are the stock market, and of course the bond market is the big gorilla. And even Powell is starting to indicate verbally that they may be getting a little more strict on their, not so much on their repurchases, which are locked in, but on their next bond auction, how much of an appetite they'll have. Time will tell. System is more fragile than most believe, but regardless of how fragile the financial system is, it's really the economy that we want to be concerned with. And unfortunately, the economy is contracting further with supply chains, food issues, work issues, and everything I'm sure anyone watching this channel is familiar with. So I will be back with you next week with another weekly perspective. This is David Morgan of themorganreport.com.